Hello everyone, welcome back to Art in a Nutshell, and you're watching Ankita exclusively on YouTube. And today is day 11 of hashtag 21 days challenge. Before we jump into today's topic, let me remind you to like, share, and subscribe my channel. And घंटा भी दबा देना. So, today we'll be talking about reference. Reference in the field of fine arts is an image or a setup or an object that we are studying to sketch. Okay, it's something that we study and then we sketch it or we practice it. Okay, that's reference. If I talk in general, reference means something that you study in order to practice a particular work. For example, if you are working on a project, then you will be reading certain books for reference. Yes, so you study those books and then you take good from all the books, whatever you want, you take from all the books and then you collect them and put it on your paper in your own style. So yes, that's reference. But today I won't be reading any book, but I'll be showing you how to select a reference for your sketchwork. When I talk about a reference in the field of fine arts, we look for objects or setup that have a proper light and proper shadow and proper midtone. Okay, see, it's not always possible to sketch under the sun, you know. So I'll tell you three light setups that you can look for if you want to practice still life. Well, number one is keep your objects or search for setups that are very close to your window or where there is a proper sunlight. I mean to say the daylight. Okay, I'll show you some objects. So here I'm taking these utensils. For example, these utensils are untouched. I didn't set up anything here, it's just untouched. And the plus is that it's kept very close to the window, so there is proper light. We can see the highlights. There are a lot of highlights here, and there is shadow. Look carefully. If you see there is a shadow of this glass on the plate, very sharp shadow here, very dark shadow here. And then there is again light, that is the reflected light. You see the highlight is reflected back on the utensil. And there is actually a print, messy print, a dirty print on the utensil. Even that is there, but I insist that you ignore the details like the prints and these little curves. For right now, you ignore them and just see the light and shadow. Then this very bright light is the highlight, and just near the highlight there is mid-tone. And if you see here, this is the dark part, or you can say the shadow area. Okay, you get these three different tones because you have kept it near the window. Because it is near the window, it receives proper daylight, and then you can sketch it properly. This is like a perfect reference if you want to sketch or go for object study. This would be a proper reference. This is a correct reference. Now let's look on one more example. The situation is the same. It's very close to the window. So look at this one now. This is a set of pen and it's very close to the window. It's just near the grills. So you cannot take this as a reference. This is not a proper reference. Why? Because if you see, there are a lot of highlights. It's like full of highlights, and then you cannot really see a proper shadow here. The shadow is beneath this plastic, but still it's not that visible. If you see here, it would become there are a lot of highlights, so it becomes very difficult to sketch. And this plastic gives a glossy look to the pens. So if you want to really study a pen, you need to remove this cover and then sketch it. And there are a lot of details here. Even if you try to ignore the details, you won't be able to ignore it because the entire setup is full of details. So this is not a proper reference. Although it is kept near the sunlight and the light is falling directly on the objects, I insist you go for things those are more natural or and less designed. Like this is a rusted object and less design, so you can take this as a reference. The second setup is simple. You close all the windows. It's just the opposite of the first one. You close all the windows, don't let any daylight come inside, or maybe you can do this, you can apply this at night or in the evening time, because the entire day the light is always fluctuating, because you see that we are, geography, or it is rotating, and so the sunlight is constantly fluctuating and the shadows are constantly moving. So apply this at night. As you can see, this room is really dim and you cannot really see the object. There is very less light on it, so we'll work under an artificial light. So I'm using this phone light. See, if I change the light, the position of the light, you see the shadow is changing. You see, now there is a lot of shadow and this is a very strong shadow. And if I change it here, there's a lot of highlight and the shadow has gone down. The shadow is expanding and the shape is not really round. The shape is also changing. And again, I'm changing the position of the light. You see, the highlight is also changing. This is what exactly happens in the morning. Your highlights and shadows are constantly changing. So now I can set up this light according to my comfort zone, and then I will sketch this. This is called studio setup. You purposely put the light and you work. The first one was natural. You cannot set up the sunlight, right? So yes, you can work like this, or switch on the room light and sketch. But this will give a faded, I'm sorry for the shadow, but this will give you a very faded shadow here. So if you use one more light like this, you will get more highlights and more shadows. Now see, the shadows are softer. Okay, yeah. Hey, and that's it for today's video. Hope to see you tomorrow on day 12 of hashtag 21 days challenge. And stay safe, go on with your work, and bye.